Money Vikings, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. And this is a happy Father's Day message to all the dads out there in the world. So with a heartfelt message, I commend all the fathers in the world that are doing the best they can and trying the best they can. Anyone that's a parent knows that a lot about being a parent is you're learning as you go, and it's a pretty hard job a lot of times. And if you are putting in your best effort and you are trying to improve and you're trying to do good, then you're on the path and you are doing just fine, probably a lot better than you imagine, because we can be very hard on ourselves as well. So I am visiting family on this Father's Day. I did find a local magic shop up here in Oregon, as I always do on my trips, and I bought some Innistrad Remastered and some Takir Dragonstorms, couple sets that I really do enjoy. And I only buy limited things anymore that I really like. I don't want bulk. I don't want a bunch of bulk around. I don't want a bunch of wasted money. I just want to buy stuff that I really like. So I hate to tell, I know this is gonna be a very unpopular opinion and won't get any internet kudos for this one, but I never played Final Fantasy. So I know Final Fantasy is really hot and doing quite well in the Magic world, and I'm happy for all you all. Bet it seems like people are having a lot of fun with it. I just never was in that world, so it doesn't do much for me. But that's fine. You just buy and collect what you enjoy. That's the number one rule of collecting. On this Father's Day, I do want to add my 2 cents in terms of investing and where we are in terms of the economy and the investing world, because I know on a lot of dads' minds is building wealth for their family, providing for their family. You're trying to build a little bit of generational wealth, or you're trying to just move up a little bit in the world and make sure that you're secure. So with that, I just would say a lot of the past lessons that Money Vikings, we've talked about, Jerry more so on the blog, truewealth.moneyvikings.com, and me, of course, on YouTube. I think a lot of these ideas are paying dividends now and are paying off and coming to fruition. And I think a lot of the old classic ideas will continue to pay off as we go forward. So number one, you have to keep a rational mind right now in terms of all the turmoil in the world and politically and the economy, etc. Those types of things happen, and you have to be able to somehow invest through them. And so the biggest takeaway there, in my opinion, we don't give any financial advice, but my biggest takeaway is that you definitely have to be thinking about strategically diversified portfolios. What does that mean? That means having a certain chunk in low-cost ETFs and mutual funds, maybe tracking the S&P 500. Maybe you have a sliver, maybe you have 10, 20% in bonds for that stability, but a little bit of income coming in. Maybe you have some focus on strong defensive dividend players. And then I have to say, I do actually believe going forward that Bitcoin is a part of a strategically diversified portfolio, and I'll continue to believe that until I see otherwise. And I really haven't seen any evidence to the contrary at this point. So Bitcoin continues to be a part of a strategically diversified portfolio, in my opinion. So with that, Bitcoin continues to do pretty well, and I think it is weathering the current storms well, and it's actually acting as we all kind of thought it may. So that is good news in terms of Bitcoin. So I do think there's a place for that. So that's kind of on the investing front. I do think it's continually a time to practice as much frugality as possible. And I know that's not always possible. Remember that just like fatherhood and parenting, those are not success-only journeys. Those are not perfection journeys. You don't do that perfectly. You don't do it right all the time. The same is true for investing. You don't do it right all the time. So the idea is, number one, you want to mitigate the impacts of major mistakes. So major consumer mistakes like taking out really high amounts of toxic debt, which is just very destructive to wealth building. Not having a very solid foundation in terms of your job and the income that you have to produce to be able to invest. And then when you are investing, being thoughtful and prudent about it in line with your values and in line with your temperament. How much volatility can you really take? What kinds of investments do you think are going to do well? What is a strategically diversified portfolio? I say strategically because we don't just say diversify your portfolio. Diversifying your portfolio could mean you buy a little bit of everything, and I don't think that's the way to go. There are some asset classes that may be worth avoiding at certain times completely, or they may not align with your goals. So that's what I mean by strategically diversifying. You know, a good example is back to Bitcoin for me. It's strategically diversifying. So I'm putting 10% or so in because I do believe it's going to be a hedge against the devaluation of the dollar and inflation over time. But I don't have the risk tolerance, I will admit, to have that be at 50% or 80%, where some people are. You'll see people on the internet that are, 100% in Bitcoin. I don't have the tolerance for that. I have a tolerance for about a 10% allocation. That's still a pretty good amount of money. And if I lost it, I would be sad, but it's not going to totally derail other, diversified investments. So with that said, I am going to open a couple packs here just for fun for Father's Day. I'm going to do some Innistrad Remastered, which I love Gothic sort of stuff. So I want to see how that goes. And then from there, I'm going to open some, I'll save those for later. I'll do another video later, but let's do the Innistrad Remastered first. We have a Mulgraf Millipede Insect Horror. Okay, we have a Blue Instant Syncopate. Okay, pretty cool. We have, oh, this is cool, Olivia's Dragoon Vampire Berserker. Very cool. Sorry, it's backwards, guys. Spore Crawler Fungus. We have an Eviction Priest Human Cleric, which is very cool. We have a Crusader of Audric Human Soldier. I really like the artwork on that one. We have a Hanweir Watchkeep Human Warrior Werewolf. That's pretty cool. I like that. We have a Faith Unbroken Aura. We have a Flesh Taker Human Assassin. We have an uncommon Fury Blade Vampire. We have a rare Collective Brutality Sorcery card. We have an old school Instant Essence Flux. It's kind of cool with the old school border from the 90s. Burning Vengeance Enchantment in the foil. We have a Swamp foil, which is pretty cool as well. So that's fun. Always a fun set. Loving me some Innistrad Gothic. And with that, have a happy Father's Day. Again, my heart and prayers and thoughts to all of the dads in the world. It's not an easy job, but keep trying and keep improving. That is all we can do, just like in investing and in life. We can just learn from the past, learn from our mistakes. We're going to make mistakes, and you just try to make things better every day, every week, every month, every year, in and out. All right, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.